never forget this experience for the rest of your life?
Well, one of the biggest things that you get a lot of time to do when you're on a mountain literally by yourself is you start thinking sage-like thoughts about what can you do to make the world a better place, or how can you make an impact in a positive way. I have gotten to meet some of America's best humans outside of all of the political jargon that you see on television. I now believe in different types of humans. And as much as I have missed my first chance of going to medical school, I do have a feeling that the healthcare world is going to see me again.
Is your eyesight permanently damaged? Are you going to recover? Will you be okay?
Based on what the doctors have told me, it may be repairable. I will have to see about it in the future with some of these recovery processes that my parents are going to have to help me with.
Like surgery or what?
Maybe not surgery, but it is going to take a long time for these kind of conditions to actually just work themselves out. And I haven't had a chance to see a doctor. The big reason that I kept moving in the first place is my parents are not the richest people in the world. So it will take a while for me to figure out who I need to see, how much that's going to cost, and what some of those logistics are.
So is it like a snow blindness? Is that what you would liken it to?
I think that when I was being checked out by the doctor, partially because of my foraging, they were really shocked about how good my numbers were. But I'm confident that it's around 10 or 20% of snow blindness that I did receive. I'm not sure what the rest of it looks like because I may have been a aspiring med student, but I'm not a doctor just yet.
Do you still have your journal, Tiffany?
I do. I haven't gone through it yet because I have to figure out how to open doors first.
Tiffany, you think you restoring a book, writing a book about you restoring to follow another one?
I don't know. I may think about that.
Christopher mentioned that the first thing you asked for was peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Talk a little bit about that. I'm allergic to peanut butter, but I can only imagine you craving that.
So when you're hiking in general, the first thing that all of the professionals tell you is that you want to make sure to keep a lot of carbs and a lot of proteins. There's a couple of different, I am a nutritionist, but there's a couple of different ways that you are able to power your body for a long period of time. The one thing that I was unable to purchase when I started was a loaf of bread. So the entire time that I was going, I kept trying to figure out what can I forage to make carbs. And at the end, all I wanted was a sandwich. Now that I've had leeks in water for such a long time, it's almost like I've never had food before. So when I got to Vermilion Resort and Raven and the guys gave me some of what they had brought, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it was the best PB&J I've ever had.
And you mentioned you wanted to go to Mountain Hot Springs. How was your experience? I know it's probably not what you pictured.
I actually missed it. The avalanche happened before I got a chance to even see it, so I'm hoping that eventually I'll get a chance to come and see it, A, with a GPS,
Yeah.
and B, probably with a car, so that I don't have to have so many issues.
Tiffany, real quick, the Royal Gazette messaged me out of Bermuda. They want to know, do you have a message to the people of Bermuda?
I will be back for archery quite soon, and I do hope that you're looking forward to seeing me.
Was Mono's Hot Springs where you had planned to go? Was that your initial destination? And also, what was on the 25th that you had kind of left the trail or started on the trail to get out there?
There's a lot of different talk around the time frame that people think that they've seen me. I'm a high-level archery coach as well as an athlete, and the only day that I had to start for my vacation was actually the 20th on Easter. That was the day that I went up. I'm not the type of person to come back until I have at least tried to take a vacation because I am a healthcare professional. I had just finished being for lack of a better term, burned out from doing a few jobs. And I was adamant about at least trying a vacation once. I don't believe I'll do a long one ever again.
You said are you on the archery team for Bermuda?
All right, we did just want to share some of that press conference with you. Again, that was Tiffany Slaton as she was sharing her story. She was found alive after gone missing for several weeks in the wilderness, and she was found in a cabin at a resort. And so we were just hearing.
You're looking at your daughter with such pride, and I understand that, and it's your only daughter, and she's apparently a better survivalist than your son. What do you want to say to them?
Well, we're not going to say she's better. We'll say that we tried to prepare them for whatever the adventure of life will send their way.
But your journey must have been horrible, waiting for that horrible phone call that you thought might happen. Did you think the call was going to come and it was going to be terrible news?
We're more optimistic than that. We know our children. We know their capabilities to be able to survive. Our children, we've always been outdoor people. Let me rephrase that. My children and my wife are more outdoor people. I would be more comfortable sitting inside an air conditioning in a condo. However, we raised our kids to be outdoor camper type people. Tiffany got the love of foraging and gardening and plants and bonsaiing from her mother and I, because that's what we do on our farm. We have a micro farm in Georgia. So that's where it started. Now my boys, they enjoy, like most boys, they enjoy the military side of things. So they enjoy, tearing stuff up. And that's what that's who they are.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how you were feeling. Tell me a little bit about what was going through your mind and that feeling when you got the news that Tiffany was okay.
Tiffany's fine? Oh, my God. I mean, that's basically what I can say. I mean, we were at, of all places, Goodwill. Trying to get some clothes because we had heard it was really cold here, and where we are, it's really hot. So he comes and he gets on the phone. It's like, I heard Tiffany, and ran off. And I am just there crying, and I'm trying to figure out, did he just say that? And a woman walks past me, and I just say, can I hug you? And I hugged her, and I cried. It was the most joyous occasion I think any mother could have. I would think anybody that knew their daughter was missing in a mountain or wherever she was, you would love to have them back. And that, it broke my heart, but it was the most joyous thing that I could ever have experienced. Yeah.
What was it like to see your daughter when you arrived out here?
Oh my God, I had so many ideas. Jumping her and holding her, you want to just do all those things. But because the moment was hers and she was going through some things herself, we didn't have that moment. But just to hold her, she wanted to hold us. She wanted to hold her mom and dad, and I took it in, and I'm just glad to see her, to know that she's alive, and to smell her.
Was she in the hospital when you saw her? Or was she
No, she was somewhere else, and we had placed her in a hotel just to keep her safe. She was out of the hospital at the time. But
you must be so proud of her.
I am very proud. I mean, as a parent, we always say, we have adult kids. We can't control them. They can do whatever they want to do. But I'm very proud that she stood her own. I'm proud that she's back. But I will be prouder when she gets a GPS. So that'll be much better. We were talking about Garmin's and different other things, but I wouldn't be much. She could do whatever she wants to do, but just get some kind of GPS. Yeah. And then we can talk every day.
Yeah. We don't keep our kids locked down. This is not a time for us to lock her back in Twigs. We'd love to have her back home when she's home, but her adventure is far from over.
Yeah.
And so what's happening next? I know she was headed to medical school. Is that correct?
that's completely up to her. We have no idea. We are standing back. We're like you guys. What you gonna do next?
Yeah.
You know, but whatever she decides to do, we will be next to her 100%.
But y'all are going to head back to Georgia and just have some family time.
Yeah.
Most certainly. We will definitely be going back to Georgia, to our little town that we enjoy so much, Swiggs County.
Yeah.
All three of you going back?
Oh yes. Even if I have to tie her down, she's coming back home and I say that jokingly, but it's so that she has time to recuperate, so that she can go back out and do another type of adventure.
With GPS.
With GPS.
Yes.
What's this experience done for you guys in your belief for God?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. As far as God, we've always been people who believe in God. That's not going to change. Community, I could tell you, the community here and around the world, so many people got in contact with us, checking on us, just loving on us. And I just totally appreciate every single person who reached out to us. I love people. I don't care, and I've said it so many times, I don't care where you're from, what you look like. I don't care you're religious or not. People, there are good people everywhere. And for whatever reason, and I'm going to say God, but he always connects us to good people. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to take it. I'm glad that he gives it to us. Up days, down days, bad days, good days. We're going to all go through it. Every single one of us are going to go through a bad day. But that doesn't mean that there's not a ray of sunshine somewhere. And everybody in the community around the world showed us the ray of sunshine when I couldn't see it at all. So I definitely want to thank them for that. And I thank you for the prayers. And I'm just so grateful, and I'm so thank you. And the police department and everybody that helped. We were here, and I'm crying earlier. I love every single one of these people that were out there. I'm helping to find Tiffany. And some here even doing it on their days off, overtime. This is just the best community of people that I have ever met. And I just want to say I'm grateful. And thank you, God, for everything.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, you mentioned that Tiffany called you and said, I'm sorry. I feel like any child we're scared our parents are gonna be upset. I mean, at this point, I feel like you can't be mad, but as a child, it's like, oh, my dad's gonna be mad at me. How are you feeling about that?
So when I got the phone call, I really didn't know who it was on the other line. My daughter is lost, and we're trying to find her. And I was already warned that, maybe somebody will call and pretend to be her to try to give you false hope or get the attention that comes with that. So I asked her, okay, so who is this? And she says, it's me, Dad. I'm sorry. Oh. I'm not dead. That was the best feeling. That was the best gift that I could have ever gotten. These kids that I have are my wife. They're the reason why I breathe, and the possibility and the thought that she might not come home. Yeah, that to hear her voice was really tough, but it was the best toughness that I could have ever experienced. And yes, I guess a person could have been mad at that particular point, but you can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. And yes, I did go into the store and say, hey, I just spoke to Tiffany. And yes, I ran off because at that particular moment, I remembered that I need to call the sheriff department to let them know that I just spoke to my lost daughter.
I actually have a question for you, Sheriff, if you don't mind. Y'all were on days searching for Tiffany. How close was she in relations to where she was found? Do y'all search? Where does that kind of match up?
Well, that's a good question, because we had sightings from different individuals, and we'd obviously had some video from the China Peak Landing, which is at Huntington Lake. Not really that close. Kaiser Pass was impassable. We had gone up there with some of our off-highway vehicles with tracks on them and couldn't make it. We had Eagle One fly into the Edison Lake area, Vermilion Valley Resort, to check it out, but we were not really looking that was not an area that you would have anticipated or expected someone to be. And that is what really makes this story so remarkable. And as Verdrina said, and their belief in God and the fact that it's a miracle, when she was getting a notification that the Starbucks off of the 395 highway in Inyo or Mono County was closer than even getting back to Huntington Lake, that just goes to show you how far out there she was. I mean, in this time of year with the snow and everything, it was just not an area that you would anticipate anyone to be. As far as we know, people are not really even hiking the Pacific Crest, John Muir Trail in this area right now because of weather and because of snow. So just completely, truly a miracle that the road was plowed on Tuesday and that this individual that runs the Vermilion Valley Resort got in there and was able to make contact with Tiffany on Wednesday. I mean, it's truly, as she said in her story, there was 12 to 13 snowstorms, anywhere from 10 to 12 feet of snow at different points as you go through these high peaks. And for that to all come together on that day is just truly a miracle. This is, you have to believe that God had a hand in saving Tiffany and getting her home and getting her here with us today.
And is this something that your department has ever experienced before, this kind of miracle?
Not that I can think of after this many days that she was out there. And we started our search on May 1st. And then obviously on May 14th, on Wednesday, is when she was located at Vermilion Valley Resort. When you think about the weather and you think about the altitude, the elements and everything that she was in, and then obviously if you can look at this on a map and going back to the Hopkins Lake Trail and where we're going to go recover her bike from, where her bike was left, it's a very, very remote area. There's no real roads in the area. There might be a few little Forest Service or logging roads here and there. But it truly is a story of survival and determination by Tiffany. There's no other way I can explain it. I've worked for the sheriff's office for almost 30 years. I've grown up here. I spend a lot of time up in that area. I would have never anticipated her in my wildest dreams being able to get back as far as she did. But now we know this is something that we will learn from in the future. Expect the unexpected.
Speaking of
Sergeant
learning.
Scott Weitzer, come
Yeah.
up real quick. Sorry, Scott, I'm going to put you on
Go
the
ahead, Scott.
spot. Scott has extensive background in search and rescue, and he helped head up this mission. I figured he'd kind of put it in the context of how incredible this is.
Yeah, she truly has an absolutely amazing story of survival. In my last 15 years on search and rescue, we haven't experienced anything close to this. As far as you talked about how close she was to our search area, we use past missing person behavior. There's a lot of literature out there on what people typically do in certain situations. She was so far off the spectrum with that it was absolutely crazy. The search areas we have volunteers. We had a lot of our neighboring counties coming in assisting, and after reviewing our tracks, we drove or walked over 4,300 miles looking for her. And when you have a search area that's almost 700 square miles, it's hard to narrow down the exact location.
What was your reaction when Christopher called you and said, "Hey, I have Tiffany"? I know you guys had just scaled back the search, so how was that feeling?
The happiest I felt in a long time. And I think our whole agency felt the same way. Everyone was texting each other. Everyone was calling each other. Absolutely just an amazing feeling.